try to block every shot, and I'm gonna be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that chop, you must run this way. Put the dog palm, mess around, find out, Put the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like, turn me up. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. Mess around, find out.
What up, though, Pistons fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Do Show. I hope everybody is having a good start to their week on this cold Monday night here in Michigan. If you live in Michigan, you know you're not really out of the woods temperature-wise until about mid to late May at the latest, usually, sometimes later, living here in Michigan. But hey, you gotta love it, right? So on that positive note, let's go ahead and get to this game, man. I want to welcome everybody to the show. I see you guys in the comments already, showing up and showing out as you guys always do. Aaron, what's going on, bro? Aaron says, what up, dudes? The Pistons had no energy. I agree. They did early, but not late. Daryl says, tough loss. What's up, Daryl? How you doing, bro? Mega Hustler says, Dennis Schroeder needs to get it together at the free throw line. Not just there either. I'm going to talk about that, but I do agree with you at the free throw line. But just as a whole, I'm going to talk about Dennis Schroeder a little bit in depth. We're going to talk about the whole game in its totality. So let's get to it. Before we do that, though, I just want to talk about the fact that we are in the last week of the season. For me, this has been the fastest regular season I can recall in I don't know how long. It's been over a decade since I can remember the season going by this fast. The season went by this fast as quick as playoff runs have gone for the Pistons the last 2 times they've been there, 3 times they've been there. So definitely not a great game from the Pistons tonight. We're going to get into the details when it comes to that. So, like I said, the final game of the season is on Sunday, guys. And it is currently Monday at the filming of tonight's show, as I mentioned. So we are at the top of the final week. So as far as injuries with this game, regarding this game, right? Tobias Harris did not play again tonight. He missed another game with Achilles soreness. I think it's called Achilles tendinopathy. And Jalen Duren also returned from his lower leg injury. So once again, I was not bothered at all by Tobias sitting. I think he should sit out another game, maybe another 2 games, to make sure that he is fully healthy or as close to fully healthy as possible. So no problems there. I have no issue. Jalen Duren coming back was good to see. I didn't think he really had a serious injury. He looked just fine. So the last time he played was just two games ago. So, I think guys are just kind of managing their bodies, making sure everybody's in tip-top shape or as close to it going into the playoffs. The last time we played the Kings was late last calendar year, late 2024. And that was when Jaden Ivey hit that game-winning 4-point play that iced the game. Totally different team now with the Kings. Not totally, but they got some new guys there. De'Aaron Fox, who actually fouled J.I. on that 3-pointer, is now gone. He's in San Antonio. The Kings now have DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. So interesting team. Now to go along with Domantas Sabonis. We're going to get to those 3 guys between DeRozan, LaVine, and Sabonis later on in the show. As I mentioned, though, guys, I know we lost this game. I know, Nikki, you said it was a frustrating loss. I see you. I understand what you're saying. These last 4 or 5 games, I haven't been this chill after losses, especially back-to-back losses, in a while. And that's just because these games don't really mean anything as far as playoff implication. It doesn't really mean much. We're going to get into the details and look at the standings later, but as far as right now, guys, the only thing that really matters as far as implications, is who the Pistons are going to play in the first round. It's either going to be the Knicks or the Pacers. That's really it. Outside of that, in health and just building that consistency again and shaking off rust, these games don't mean much. They don't mean much, at least not to us, because our playoff position is becoming more and more clear by the day. And so as long as we are ready to go by the playoffs, I don't care about these games. I was sitting back once again, like last game, like last loss, when I would normally be jumping around. I was just chilling. I was watching the game, just watching individual players, watching the team, just looking at how they looked, more so focusing on who won the game. You know, just looking at growth, seeing your guys are getting better, seeing them guys are getting more comfortable, seeing how different rotations look with each other compared to other rotations that we usually see, stuff like that. Aside from that, guys, there's nothing to really be concerned about, nothing to really be upset about. If there's something that you saw in this game that you're afraid of the Pistons carrying over into the playoffs, that's a little bit different. But as far as the actual games themselves, I'm not really too bothered by this loss or last loss or the other losses that may follow as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, sitting more and more guys. And you guys know who I want in the playoffs. You guys know what needs to happen if we're going to play that team in the playoffs. So if you don't know, I'm going to get into that later in the show, in the standings, when we talk about it. But before we even do that, let's just get into this game, right? So let's get into my initial thoughts. This was a game of two halves. Tale of two halves. Or a tale of four quarters, if we want to put it that way. The Pistons looked really sharp to start this game, especially on the offensive end. They looked really sharp. The ball was hopping. There was a lot of player movement, a lot of ball movement, like I mentioned, and everybody was playing unselfishly and with intention. They had the sense of urgency early in this game. You could see evidence of that by their 10-plus first quarter assists. Like, they were humming. Offensively, they were humming. And they also shot 70% nearly in the first quarter. So they were efficient with their scoring. They were just scoring a lot on a lot of shots. They were efficient. And that led to them actually putting up 15 points in the first 3.5 minutes of this game. They came out hot, really hot. The problem was that the Kings early in this game pretty much matched them shot for shot offensively. Going, you know, it was back and forth in that first quarter. And the Kings led with their three-headed monster of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis. Those three guys were a problem. Those three guys were a problem, but they were only able to be a problem because the Pistons did not take care of their business in this game. The Kings, they can put points on the board. They can score the ball, right? They came into this game most recently beating the Cavaliers, I think last night on the road. They beat them 120-113 on the road. So I was saying to myself, the Pistons are going to win this game with their defense. If they win it, it's going to be because they got enough stops. And as we always talk about, a big part of rebounding includes what? A big part of defense includes what? Rebounding. We know that. And tonight, the Pistons were out-rebounded again, just like they were in the Memphis game against the Grizzlies. When they had JD out and other guys out, they were out-rebounded, I think, by 20 last game, which is crazy. And tonight, it wasn't much better. They were rebounded in the first quarter, out-rebounded 17-5. And 17-5, I'm going to say it again, 17-5 in the first quarter. And that's a big part of why the Kings were actually up 38-37 by the end of the first quarter. It's because the Pistons could get stops, but they could not get the board. They could not secure the ball and finish the defensive possession. That was a big problem all game. And so tonight, it wasn't 20 rebounds they were out-rebounded by, but it was 13. 13. So I know we had guys out, but you got to really look at this. The Pistons really have to consider and really not take lightly the importance of finishing possessions, because in the playoffs, man, possessions are everything. They're extremely important in the playoffs. When the game slows down, it's not as much back and forth, and possessions become a premium. You can't turn the ball over, and you can't give up a bunch of offensive rebounds and not finishing possessions. That'll kill you. That'll kill your momentum. That'll kill everything. So the Pistons are not going to win many games if they keep doing this. But once again, like I said, I wasn't bothered because we didn't have our whole team. But I do want to see more energy and effort with everybody just crashing the glass and not relying on just JD or relying on just Stu or whoever you have up front. So with that, though, I got to be fair. We talked about injuries. Tobias Harris didn't play. He's usually starting forward. He's played, even though he's not big, he's played big and played well for us on the boards this year. And the Pistons were small with him not being there. He plays the 4, right? So Asar is a good rebounder. He's a great rebounder. For a size, he's a great rebounder, right? But he's 6'7", right? And so with Tobias out, Asar had to once again slide to the 4, go up a size, right? And THJ also had to go up a size by going up from the 2 to the 3, which put both of them out of position and which makes it harder for you to rebound, especially when you want to have guys like Asar on the perimeter, right? Guarding the Kings wing players. But you can't do that if you're undersized up front and you need more help up front. Now you need Asar to go to the 4. If he's under the rim trying to get the rebound, he's not able to guard on the perimeter, right? So that's why I'm not too concerned, not too bothered, because once again, the Pistons you saw the domino effect from the Pistons missing guys, especially Tobias. I think guys are seeing how important now Tobias really is. He's really important to this team. And him missing the last 2 games, you really felt his absence just because of the shuffle and domino effect of him not being available and everybody else having to move up a size, right? That really affects you. Just because you move up a position doesn't mean your team is bigger. You're actually smaller, right? For the Pistons. So yeah, it was frustrating. I understand how guys are, Heisenberg, what's up? He said he was frustrated. This game pissed him off. I get it. Aaron says 3 players alone. Yes, we're going to get to this. 3 players alone on the Kings combined for 99 points, guys. 99 points. So we're going to get to the details. I see you guys already in here. But we're gonna take it one step at a time and just take a look at what happened in this game. Frank says, we need to play better than this. Momentum means, I understand what you're saying, Frank. But once again, if we were fully staffed and this happened, then I would be a little bit more inclined to agree. But to your credit, regardless of who's in the game, if you're up 18 points, like the Pistons were in the first half, you should win a game because whoever you had available is what got you here. Whoever was available got you that 18-point lead. So you should not lose that, right? So I do understand what you're saying, Frank, as far as that. If that happened with the team being fully at full strength, I would have really been concerned then because you are 100% right. Momentum means everything going into the playoffs. That's why you see guys resting and getting ready to gear up for that playoff run because that's what really matters. If you have a great record, regular season record, and you get bounced in the first round, nobody cares. They're probably going to remember your record more so for negative reasons because you had the great record and then you lost in the playoffs. So the regular season right now is not of much importance other than building that momentum and getting healthy like Frank mentioned. So I agree with you there. Dominic, what's going on, bro? You always show love. You always show up. You always show out. I appreciate you, man. I'm going to give you a shout out every time you do it, too. Every time you do it. I need to get your number, actually, too. We need to talk. Dominique, what you got for me? He says, a little upset with JB, Ron, and Asar. Oh, a little upset with JB. Ron and Asar should have been cross-matched against laziness in laziness Levine and DeRozan in the second half. Also in the playoffs, I hope for my defensive sanity, I never see the Schroeder, Beasley, THJ lineup. That's interesting, bro, because there's another lineup with Schroeder that I hope I never see again, too. And it's not really Schroeder's fault. I just don't like the lineup, but it just comes down to roster availability, right? And guys weren't available, and we talked about it. So, but I hear you, though. Like, I think with Asar, like, it's tough, man, because ideally you want to have Asar always guarding the best offensive player. And it's tough when you need him to grab boards. It's tough when you have him at the 4. You can't have him in 2 places at one time. And that's what makes it hard with Tobias, not being available. When Tobias is here, Asar can guard the best guy. He can guard DeRozan, and then he can switch on to Levine. You have that flexibility. But with him not being able to fully commit, right, you have to if he does commit, right, to guarding the perimeter, you've got JD and JD alone under the rim, right? If you don't commit to Asar guarding on the perimeter, then that means you have help under the rim with JD, but now you're a little bit soft on the perimeter, right? It's just, you can't be at 2 places at one time. So it was tough, man. It was a tough game. Just like last game, tough game. We didn't have our guys. So I'm not too concerned about it, but I do hear you on the lineups too. I'm not really too hot about some of those lineups. So we're going to get to those lineups too, Dominique. But as always, bro, I appreciate you, man. Send me a DM so we can chat offline too, bro. For sure. Appreciate you as always, my guy. Always. Mega Hustler says, the only guys that showed up were Asar, Ron, THJ, Sasser, and Cade. I think that's fair. Tara, do you think the team is running out of gas? No, I don't. I think they're actually just filling their tank up, honestly. That's why you've seen so many guys who've been out. I don't think guys tonight played a ton of minutes, right? So, let me check. The most minutes tonight played for the Pistons were 35 by THJ. Cade was at 33, Shorter 32. So it wasn't, I don't think guys are burning out. I think they're just unfortunately not taking these games quite as serious because, like we talked about, these games don't really mean much as far as playoff contention. It's just more so about matchup. And like I mentioned, I think the Pistons want the Knicks. And the way to guarantee you get the Knicks is to make sure that you lose more games than the Bucks coming down the stretch. You do that, you're at 6. The Bucks are at 5. Now you can play the Knicks. So I could be wrong, but that's just kind of what I get from watching. They just didn't seem too engaged for the entire game. Like how we saw against the Wizards when they didn't look engaged, or against the Mavericks when they didn't look engaged, games they should have won. They didn't, right? And that's what happens. And when we'll get to that part later. But I think that's more so what it is, Tara. It's just that they just didn't take this game quite as seriously as they should have. That's kind of where I'm at. DG said, missed the game. What happened? And Make a Hustle answered. Organic, what's going on, bro? All right, let's get back to this game, guys. I'm going to get to as many comments as I can. Let's get back. And as always, if I miss your comment, post it again. Post it again. Put it in caps. Post it. Super chat. Whatever you want to do to get my attention, go ahead and do that. And I will do my best to get to you. All right? Okay, last one. DG says, Deuce in chat, should we be worried about the playoffs? I'm not, just wondering how everyone is feeling. No, for the reasons I just outlined, DG, not concerned, bro. I think we're okay. Yeah, we're not panicking. We're not doing that. We're okay. All right, let's get back. So with regard to this game, where do we leave off here? Let's see. We talked about the playoffs, and we talked about how the Pistons were small up front, right? Like I mentioned, the Pistons were up 18. They were up 18. And they took their foot off the gas, guys, in that second quarter toward the end of the half. When they were up 18, we talked about it before, you can't allow teams to get back into the game. You can't. Any NBA team will beat you if you play down to your competition. The Pistons played down to the competition once they had the big lead. When they built the lead, they didn't, right? They're not talented enough with guys missing to play down to the competition and still be up 18 points. It doesn't happen. So that just shows you mentally they were not in the same place they were in the first quarter, right? And so the Kings took advantage. They took advantage. They were down 10 at halftime. I think it was 62-52. They were down at halftime, right? And they hit first in that second half. We always talk about hitting first. They hit first in that second half. And when you do that early in the third quarter, that can really seep your momentum and can really sap you of your momentum in whatever you have going for yourself, your rhythm. And that's what the Kings did. They outscored the Pistons 35-22 in that third quarter. That was when the Pistons had their lead, and that's when it disappeared, right? The Pistons found themselves, I think they were down 3 or 4 going into the fourth quarter because of that 13-point deficit in that third quarter. So that was a missed opportunity for the Pistons to put the game away. When they didn't do that, I said to myself, with no anxiety, because I didn't really care, I said to myself, they're probably going to lose this game. They're probably going to lose this game. Because adding insult to injury, the Pistons were also in foul trouble, right? I think in the third quarter, JD and Asar both have 4 fouls in the third quarter, early in the third quarter. And that's because they were guarding guys like Domantas Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, right? Who are great offensive players, but this is like, you still should not allow yourself to be in that position when you're up that many points. The Kings' big three guys are arguably 3 of the best one-on-one scorers in the league. Between Sabonis, DeRozan, and LaVine, those are 3 of the best one-on-one scorers at their positions in the league. As far as getting their own shot, as far as knocking it down consistently, as far as drawing fouls, you don't want to be in a close game with the Kings. You don't, because they got 3 closers. They got 3 closers. And when the game gets tight, having 3 closers on your team makes a team tough to stop. Well, you've got 1 closer in your team. If it's a solid team, that's tough to stop, right? But having 3, you can't allow them to get back in the game. You have to put teams like that away, because if you don't, those are the kind of teams that will come back and beat you and put you away. I know a couple years ago, JD said that guarding Sabonis wasn't hard, but man, that dude is a load, bro. That dude is a load. He's just tough to deal with. He's very crafty, like his father was. He's very crafty, and he's able to get his shot off in very unorthodox ways. So it was tough. It was tough, man. In the fourth quarter, when the game was up for grabs, it was in the balance. The Kings just took over. Their big 3 just took over. They couldn't miss shots. They just could not miss. They were unconscious, but especially LaVine and DeRozan. Those guys down the stretch. Let's look at their box scores, and see exactly what they did. We mentioned they scored 100 points, pretty much the 3 of them together. So Zach LaVine, 43 points, man. 43 points on 16 for 28 shooting. 8 for 11 from 3 for Zach LaVine. It wasn't like it was just bad defense either. He was just knocking down shots in that fourth quarter. DeMar DeRozan, 37 points. 14 for 26 from the field. So they both shot better than 50% from the field. And then finally, Sabonis had 19 and 15 boards and 10 assists. So two of the big three had at least 37 points, both shooting better than 50%. And the third guy had a triple-double on 50%, better than 50%. So when you're in a close game like that, you're I don't care who you are. If you're in a close game like that, it's not really about the defense at that point, because in this league today, down the stretch, better offense is going to be better defense. Great offense is going to be great defense, because especially the way the game is called now, the way guys are able to draw fouls and just the officiating and understanding how to manipulate the referees and draw fouls and things like that. That is a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for disaster. So that's what it was. They just could not get stops because those guys are just too good offensively down the stretch. And Zach LaVine seems to always have a chip. I think I saw a comment about this. Zach LaVine always takes it personally against the Pistons. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something personal or what, but he always seems to look for his shot and to look to break the Pistons' hearts, right? Especially in close games. He always does this in close games. So, it happens. But that's what I said last time this happened when they lost. I forgot who it was when they lost. But this is what happens when you don't put teams away. I think it was the Grizzlies. They didn't put them away. They could have and they didn't. And so that's what happens. That's what happens, man. So the Pistons have to learn from this. They cannot continue to do this. And, hopefully the last couple of games of the season, we'll see those things get kind of, fixed a little bit and kind of tweaked. But once again, if it happens with a full roster, I'm concerned. If we see it early, if we see it in game one of the playoffs, I'm concerned. Because the Knicks, even though the Pistons want them, that's the best of the worst. All these teams are playoff teams going to the playoffs. Like, all these teams are quality basketball teams. The Kings are a play-in team in the West, right? So if they can do it, and I know the West is tougher, but if they can do it, anybody can do it against you. Anybody in the playoffs can beat you, and they will beat you. So let's get back. So Devon says, this is just all playoffs practice. We want to beat the Knicks. But we might get smacked too. See, exactly, Devon. That's what I just said. If we bring this effort, because what do we all say? You got to play what? You got to hit first, and you got to play for what? How many minutes? It's close to how many? 48. 48. You got to play as close as you can to 48 minutes, not 2 quarters or 3 quarters or 1 half. No. In the playoffs, you got to play 48 because teams are not going to pack it in. Teams are not going to pack games in the playoffs. You only get 4 to lose. So it ain't we'll get them next night. No, this is the season right here. So the Pistons absolutely cannot afford to have lapses because they will get smacked in the face quickly by playoff teams who are fighting for their playoff lives, right? You just can't afford to do it. So once again, for the third or fourth time, I'm not too concerned. If I see it early in the playoffs, though, in game one, when they're up double digits and they allow the Knicks to get back into it, now I'm like, come on, guys. Now I'm like, y'all, now I'm concerned. Now my alert is up. I'm really on alert and my visor is up. And I'm looking around trying to figure out what's going on. Why is it still happening? So, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But the Pistons, I hope coaches, I'm sure he is, just nailing this in their brain. Like, we got to play full games, man. We got to play full games. And also, I know the Pistons like to run. I know they like to run, but you can't run at the expense of you can't try to run at the expense of not grabbing the board. If you don't grab the rebound, you're running for nothing, right? So they have to finish possessions, man. Too many offensive rebounds. I saw guys tonight too often leaking out before the rebound was secured. That's greedy. That's gambling. You're trying to get past your man down the court for an easier basket because it's easier to leak out early before the rebound is secured, right? Because you can get ahead of your guy down the court, more than likely. The only problem with that is if you don't get the rebound, they have an advantage. They have a numbers advantage because you're down the court and they got a 4-on-5 or a 3-on-4. So you got to secure the rebound. You got to stick to your principles. You got to be disciplined. You got to box out. Yes. Can't not leak out, Axe out. So 100%, man. 100%, Devin, you're on it. That's 100% correct. 100% correct. Dominique is showing hella love tonight per usual. Dominique said, gotta ask this as well, Deuce. Will Drake be Bro, oh my God. Listen, y'all. I'm gonna make this quick. I don't know what Drake is talking about. He could be telling the truth. He could be telling a lie. But I'm just like, why would you even... So for those who don't know, really quickly, if you haven't heard the song, go listen to the song. I'm not going to quote it here, right? But Drake basically aired out something that happened in the Pistons locker room that, you know, he basically said he had fun with somebody in the locker room wearing Cage Crocs. I don't know. There is a picture of him in the Pistons locker room with the number 2 in Cage's locker, right? But I don't know if that means anything that it actually happened. I don't even know why he would do that. Like, what happened to discretion? Like, guys, I'm an artist, right? I'm a musician. I write songs. I've written songs for 20 years. I don't talk about stuff like things that are like, even if it did happen, whatever it is that happened, even if it did happen, right? And go look it up, right? Go listen to the song. I think it's called Shopping Spree. Go YouTube it. You can find it. Yeah, after the show, go check it out, and then drop in the comments what you thought about it on this video, what you thought about it, right? But what happened to discretion? Why do you have to always talk about everything that happens? That's just me, guys. That's just me. And it's not like you're just telling your friends. You're not just pillow talking and tell your friend. Like, you're putting music out about things that like, are you thinking about how that may affect the player? If it did happen, if it didn't, why are you saying it? But either way, it's just not a good look to even do that. That's just how I am. I'm old school, man. I'm about discretion and decorum and just doing things a certain way. Everything ain't got to be public. So Dominique, there I go. There it is, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Drake fan for many reasons. I'm not a Kendrick. I'm not like Eric Vincent, my boy Eric Vincent. He loves everything Kendrick and hates everything Drake, right? So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave that there. Let's go ahead and get back to this game because that's what really matters. But I had to answer because Dominique asked, and I knew he was gonna bring it up. I had a feeling he was gonna bring it up, bro. All right. So let's get back to the game, man. Let's get back to this game. So let's get to. Is it box score? Yeah. Let's go to the box score, and let's start with Cade. So tonight, guys, Cade he really tried to put his team on his back and get this dub, man. He had 35 points. By the way, he looks perfectly fine. He had 35 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 turnovers on 13 for 21 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 8 for 11 from the free throw line, in 33 minutes. So just watching this game, guys, he looked good. I don't like him. Whenever I see Cade with like 35 something points, I don't like it because the Pistons don't win that way. We always talk about how in years past, so many stat lines and so many great games from Cade would go down the drain and be forgotten. Why? Because they'd be in losses. And why would they be in losses? Because the Pistons are at their best when they're spreading it around offensively. When Cade is getting 25 and 9 and 6, and the Pistons are, healthy and they're playing well, that's what I want to see, right? I always say, in my opinion, Cade at his peak in this team, with reference to this team, Cade is like 25, 26 a game. That's what I want to see. I can see him 25 a game, 9, 10 assists, 4 or 5 rebounds. To me, that's like the Cade I like to see on this team because that means the Pistons are winning and they're playing balanced basketball, right? So that's what I would want to see. When I see 35, I'm like, I don't like that. And so once again, he did that because the Pistons offensively in the second half, they just could not keep up with the Kings because the Kings were right back in the game. They were in a rhythm and it was anybody's game. And Cade saw that he was going to have to try to do it by himself. And that's what you hate to see. You hate to see that. You want to see guys come with him, right? So the Pistons, they were early in this game able to turn the Kings over and get out in transition. And Cade was taking advantage of all the opportunities, running or picking the pace up, getting out in transition and finding the right guy, right? Like he usually does. And physically, he looked great. Like that's what I was watching, guys. I wasn't watching his his point, how many points he scored. I was just watching him physically just to see how he looked. He said this last game. I wanted to see if he looked like he was favoring anything, if he was laboring, or if he looked hampered. Nah. I knew he was good when I saw him defensively getting up in the guys. That's when I know, okay, he's good. He's fine. And on one play, he looked like Sar Thompson, man. He picked Keon Ellis' pocket clean in the backcourt. Easy layup. So when I saw that, I said, yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He looks to have shaken off almost all of that rust off. He still got some rust to shake off. If you watch the game, you saw he wasn't still himself 100%. There's some things, some shots he missed, some decisions he made that he normally wouldn't make. But he missed 6 games. That's 2 weeks. So I'm going to give him the next couple games, and that's exactly why I said about 3 or 4 days ago that I was hoping he would come back for the last 3 or 4 games of the season for this very reason. So he played about as tough as he could have played. I mean, he shot 50% from the field. He only made one of his 4 threes, but that's fine. He did everything else pretty well. He only had 5 assists, and he had 4 turnovers, so that's not great, right? That's only about a 1-to-1, a little over a 1-to-1 ratio, which isn't good. But, I mean, hey, man, he was trying to do it all. He tried to put the team on his back. When you do that, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do some things that you wish you could get back, right? But, hey, it happens. So, Cade, once again, was not the problem tonight. He was not the problem at all. All right, so let's go to Dennis Schroeder. Before I do that, let me check the comments and see what we got. Make sure I got nothing that I missed of note. Once again, if I miss you guys, just post it again. I'll get back to you if I can. Heisenberg, Cade needs to start putting a little more arc on his threes. But I saw that too. And maybe that's just part of him getting back, right? This is all part of the process of him just getting back to peak form, peak Cade Cunningham form, right in time for the playoffs. And it looks like Devin said the same thing. He got to get more lift. Yes. So you guys are on the same page. Heisenberg and Devin, you guys are on the same page. Devon says, I know we lost, but in my opinion, we look good. I'm on playoff mode though in offseason. Yes, bro. I'm not. That's why I'm not mad. I'm literally just chilling. I'm literally just bracing myself like an overbite, waiting for the playoffs. That's literally it. Hey, dudes, do you think Cade will be an MVP next year like me? I don't know about next year. I think that's a little bit ambitious. I think a few years out. Because, real quick, the Pistons have never had Lawrence King. They have never in their history had an MVP on their team. Even Isaiah Thomas didn't win MVP, which is crazy, right? So in order for them to get that monkey off their back, for Cade to qualify to be the first Piston to win MVP, he's going to have to do some pretty incredible stuff because they don't like giving us stuff anyway. We're already hoping they don't snub JB Bickerstaff for Coach of the Year or Malik Beasley for Sixth Man of the Year, right? So if we worry about that, a much bigger award or a much more fancy, right, decorated award like MVP is going to be harder. So he's really going to have a Thunder-esque type of season, not maybe 60, however many games he got, but it's going to have to be a very, very, very impressive season for the team first. And then you look at how he impacts that. That's what it's going to come down to. I think he will at some point win MVP. I can see him averaging like 25 points, 12 assists, 7 boards, 2 steals, or 1 steal and a block. I can see him doing something like that. And the Pistons are in great shape, first place in the Eastern Conference 3-4 years from now. I see that more so. But I think the team success is what's really going to carry him to it. Because once again, you don't want him putting up Luka Doncic type numbers every night. Because we're not built like that. They were built on one guy in Dallas with Luka. They needed him to do that every single night. The Pistons don't need Cade to do that every single night because we're so deep. So I think it's going to be more so a proponent of how many wins we're getting and how good the team is. And then as a result of that, how Cade, the head of the snake, is impacting and leading that. It's going to be something like that. So we'll see. We'll see. Good question, though, Lawrence King. Good question, bro. MVPs get theirs a year late. Yes, sometimes longer than that, Dominique. Sometimes it's a few years. Sometimes guys don't even get it because other guys just had a crazy season too, right? So as a Pistons fan, as the Detroiter, as us as Pistons fans, he's going to have a great season to do it. But I think he will. We'll see. And Devin, I said this. I think he's going to win a championship first before he wins MVP. The same way Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, I don't think any of those guys were all-stars before. I know Chauncey for sure. Chauncey won the finals MVP, guys. You know how many all-star appearances he had before that? Before Chauncey won finals MVP in 2004, he had 0 All-Star games appearances. 0. And then the year after, I think for the next 3 or 4 years, he went 3 or 4 years straight. Right? So it's always a delay. It's always a delay. So it's going to take time for him to do it. But I most definitely think he will. I do. I really am confident that he's going to be that kind of guy because he's a leader. He's a leader too. It's not just about the on-court stuff. He's a leader. He's a clear leader of this team. So we'll see. We'll see. Monolando says, I need the old heads to retire. Then Cade, some of the younger guys can. Yes. And younger teams too. The Bostons, the Milwaukee's who's getting older, right? Once those teams start to fizzle out and the Pistons start to ascend, then that's when you'll start to see the Pistons getting more and more attention and more wins and all that stuff. And that's another reason why we don't need to trade for the guy right now. We're right in the thick of a competitive Eastern Conference that is very, very top heavy. Why are you trying to compete and make your team, take your team to the next level when teams above you are still probably going to be better than you? Boston's not going nowhere for the next year or two. They're the deepest team in the league outside of maybe the Thunder. So you got to time it right. You got to time it. You got to time your window right? So we'll see. We'll see, guys. So yeah, good question, Lawrence King. You're right, Deuce. It will take some time, but I feel it come up. Yeah, same, bro. All right, let's get back, guys. Sorry, I'm missing your comments. I'm getting as many as I can. Let's get back to the box score and then throw in more comments, and I'll get to as many as I can. All right, so let's go now to, guys, Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder tonight have 5 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 turnover, 1 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 2 of 4 from the free throw line in 32 minutes. So, guys, Schroeder had a bad game. Straight up. I'm going to keep it a bean. Schroeder did not play well tonight in really any phase of the game. He even misses free throws, which he just normally do. He usually money from the free throw line, much like Tim Hardaway Jr. is, who was also 3 for 3 again. But Schroeder struggled just as a whole on both ends of the court. I think he had the worst plus minus tonight at -19. And that's not the whole story all the time, but just watching with my eyes and watching the game, he didn't look good. And, excuse me, what I noticed tonight, guys, is that Schroeder was giving plenty of room to shoot the ball, right? I was watching the Kings defensively, and out of the pick and roll with Cade and JD, the Kings were packing the paint, sending help every time, right? The helper was waiting to help the helper, right? If a shot went up, Cade went up for a shot, and let's say Sabonis came over to try to block it, help side, you would see his help come over and try to make sure the Pistons don't get the offensive rebound, right? They were just not allowing, or they were doing like I didn't see one lob dunk tonight from Cade to JD because they were packing the paint. They were not going to allow that duo to beat them. They were going to make other guys like Schroeder beat them. And Schroeder is not a great shooter, even though his name sounds like shooter. Schroeder is not a good shooter. Great shooter, right? He's decent, right? But he's not a great shooter, especially from long range. So just watching this game, guys, Schroeder to me does not look like a natural fit next to Cade. I'm not gonna lie, that's just my opinion. You guys let me know what you think. What did you guys see watching Dennis Schroeder play with Cade? There's no right or wrong answer. I want full interactivity, so let me know what you think. But personally, I don't think that's a good fit. I do understand once again that they want to give Cade some help, right, off the ball to give, just another playmaker on the court for Cade. But I don't think Schroeder is the answer. I think because Schroeder is a guy, guys, that needs to have the ball in his hands, just like Cade. And between the two of them, I'm going to put the ball in Cade's hands, right? But both of those guys are just so much better with the ball in their hands. So when Cade is running the offense, Schroeder is kind of like just out there just ball watching or sitting in the corner or sitting, you know what I mean? So like he's not really moving without the basketball. He's not really consistently knocking down shots. You can't rely on him like out of a pick and roll. If you got B's open, you got THJ open, even Tobias to a lesser extent, you expect that to go in, especially if he's open. Dennis Schroeder, not so much. Schroeder's a prober. He's a pick and roll prober and makes decisions outside of that in the mid range, right? He's not really a long ball shooter. So that's why I really wasn't a big fan last game and this game of starting Schroeder at the 2. I just don't like it because he's not a point guard who's known for being able to effectively play off the ball consistently. And starting Schroeder messes with the rest of your roster. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, guys, Cade and Schroeder are the only 2 original, old school, quintessential point guards on the team. That's it. It's just those two because Jaden is out, right? And Sasser is learning the position. He's getting better, guys. Not just with his own offense, but he's improving, but he's not there yet, right? So I wouldn't play Cade and Shooter together because you're never going to have outside of the start of the first and third quarter, you're never going to have those guys fresh in the game. Because when Cade goes out, Shooter goes to the 2 or to the 1, right? But now he's been playing just as long as Cade was before Cade sat down. So he's not fresh either. So that's why I think he struggled, is because when he was fresh with Cade in the game, he was off ball, which he's not good at. And when he wasn't fresh and he had the ball, when Cade sat down, but he wasn't fresh. So you could see it too. He wasn't as spry as he usually looks coming off the bench because he already been playing with Cade for the first 6-7 minutes, right? And that affected him. The offense stagnated and it wasn't fluid when they were both in the game or when one of those guys sat down. So now, once again, we're seeing the importance, guys, of having a guy like Jaden Ivey be healthy. The same way we said you see the importance of Tobias being healthy because of the domino effect of everybody moving up, Asar, THA. Same with Jaden. If you have Jaden can play off ball, right? That's the difference between Jaden and Shooter. He's bigger, he's a better shooter, and he can play off ball. And he goes much harder on defense. I won't say much harder, but he doesn't take plays off at all on defense. He's bigger, he's longer. Like Jaden is the perfect, in my opinion, player to play with Cade. It just makes sense. And he's the only guy that can play off ball other than Cade and still be able to run the point guard duties. He's the only other player on this team that can do both. Cade and Jaden are your only guys who can run the show and who can effectively play off ball. Your starting backcourt are the only two guys who can do that. That's why you can stagger Jaden when Cade sits down. And even though Jaden isn't fresh at that time, he's younger and he's in great shape and his motor always runs hot. So to me, this team would look drastically different. Shooter's been a good signing, by the way. He's been a good signing. When Jaden went down, he filled in admirably, right? Him and THJ, because THJ, starting at the 2 when Jaden went down. So I give those guys credit, but you see the importance of having a guy like Jaden available to you. His versatility, yes. Monolando, we miss Ivy's versatile offense. Cade can rely on him when he's being doubled or cut off his spots. Exactly. And I think, Monolando, that's part of why they had Shooter playing, is to make sure to try to cut down on the doubles on Cade. But once again, Shooter, he's an offensive player, but he's not an off-ball offensive player, which is what you need to have for Cade when Cade gets doubled. Somebody who can reverse the ball to the other side of the court, and now you got an advantage because 2 guys were on the ball on Cade, and you got a 4-on-3. And Jaden, with numbers, as we all know, whether it's in the half court or in the break, is going to make a play. He's going to make a play. So once again, you're seeing the importance of having a guy like him on this team. That's why we need it. That's why we need to have him back. Whenever he comes back, we're going to see a drastic change in how we look offensively because of just him being on the floor with Cade. Dominic says, Deuce, would you take Russ as a backup to Cade next year? No, I would not. I like Russell Westbrook, guys. I've been a fan of Russ since his UCLA days in college. I'm an old head. I remember. But I love his individual game. I love his fire. I love how he is as a teammate. He's a great teammate. But I absolutely would not want him because it's all about trust. Do you trust the ball in his hands? Not is he a great player, but when you get to the playoffs, it's about trust. It's about trust, man. You can't turn the ball over. You can't make unnecessary mistakes trying to do too much. Unforced turnovers, unforced error. You can't have that. And guys, Russ is one of the freakish, most athletically gifted players we've seen in the NBA. But he hasn't won a championship, and I think I'm not going to blame him for that, but he's had opportunities. Up 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors in their 73-9 season, right? KD didn't like the way he played. And it was KD's fault too, but KD likes playing team basketball, and Russ is not the best team player. He tries. It's not that he's not a willing team player. He just doesn't always make decisions that garner trust, right? And he's had multiple stops now, guys. He's played for the Thunder, he's played for the Rockets, he's played for the Lakers, the Clippers, right? The Nuggets now, and nobody has really been able to really unlock him. And by unlock, I mean have him play the point guard position at a way that you can really trust. Yeah, my lineup, my bad. Even the Wizards, right? He puts up the numbers. He averaged a triple-double multiple times, right? It's not even about that. It's just like, can I trust you? I want to trust him, but no team is think about it. The Lakers, when they got him, right? They had won a championship. Didn't work out, right? The Nuggets, when they got him, have won a championship. It's not really working out. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes certain players are just not built to play high-level team basketball consistently. Some players are just one-on-one guys or great individual scorers, like Zach LaVine, great individual scorer. DeMar DeRozan, great individual scorer. You know what I mean? But like everybody's game is not built like a Cade, who is a great individual scorer, a great and willing defender, or I'll say good for now. He's a good and willing defender. He's an unselfish player. He's not going to take ill-advised shots. He's got a very high basketball IQ. He's always even keeled for the most part. He's thinking the game always. Like everybody doesn't have that. Cade isn't nearly as athletic as Russ in his prime, but Cade at his peak, I would take him over Russ because of what he does outside of just scoring and his decision making. You can trust Cade. I know he's had turnover issues here and there, but fine. But look, who do you trust with the ball in his hands late in the game? Give me Cade. You know what I mean? To make the right play. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it. I like Russ, but just not for this team. I like where we are right now. And yeah, I'm good on that. I think Jaden can be our version of Russ with better decision making, right? Because he has a guy like Cade to play with, and he's willing to modify his game in order to do so. Some guys are just stuck in their ways. This is who I am, take it or leave it. Other guys, this is who I am, but how can I be better? How can I grow, coach? That's Jaden. Jaden lives in the gym, right? So that's the difference. I think that's the biggest difference. Organic says Westbrook relies on his heart and desire instead of his basketball IQ. I can't disagree with that. Russ doesn't make his teammates better, Michael says. There's a big difference between winning basketball and putting up stats. And this is not to throw shade at Russ, but these are the reasons why I wouldn't want him on this team. Tara says maybe being coached by JB would help him get there. I would like to think that if he hadn't been in the league as long as he has. I don't think he's going to come to a team and change his game at this state of his career. He's a proven player. He's got the accolades other than championships. He's got the accolades. He's got the MVPs. He's got the triple doubles. I think he's more like, let me go to a team that will accept me as opposed to let me go to a team where I have to adapt. It's a difference, you know? So I think that's really what it comes down to. Somebody said he is Giannis at point guard. Russ is like Giannis at point guard. In a sense, yeah. You know, Giannis is much bigger and stronger, so he can kind of negate and offset his weaknesses because of that, right? But yeah, I agree with that. Russ, Kevin Love, and Drew Holiday UCLA era was a while ago, dude. You and OG. Yes, sir. At your service. All right, guys. Let's get back. Great question. Let's go ahead and get back to this game. We left off, I believe, on Dennis Schroeder, right? Okay. Now, let's kick it to Tim Hardaway Jr. So Timmy tonight, guys, he had 19 points. He had 2 assists, 2 turnovers on 6 of 15 shooting, 4 of 11 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line in 35 minutes. Once again, for the second straight game, I think now, he has not shot it well. So in correlation with that, for the second straight game, he's had to play what? Small forward instead of point guard. Guys, these things are not happening on accident. There's a reason that whenever he has to play the 3, he doesn't shoot as well. When you're playing guys who are bigger than you consistently every night, that weighs on you. And as a guard, it weighs on your legs, which is where you shoot from. Big guys shoot from up here. If you watch three-point contests, you'll see the big guys shooting from their waist up, all upper body. The guards shooting from their legs. So when you're playing bigger guys every night who are bigger than you, 20, 30 pounds heavier, right? And just taller, it's going to sap more of your energy. It's going to take more of your legs. Therefore, it's going to be tougher to knock down shots. It's just a domino effect. That's why the last 2 games and Tobias has been gone have been the last 2 games THJ's not shot it well. Because of the domino effect of Asar moving up to 4, Tim moving to 3. That's the domino effect. That's the whole point. So that's why I'm not mad at THJ. He gave you 19 points, which is solid. He didn't shoot it well, but I'm not mad at him for not shooting well because I understand why. That's the reason. You'll see once he goes back down to the 2, and Asar's at the 3, Tobias at the 4, JD to the 5, K to the 1, you'll see him shooting the ball better. Just keep an eye on it. It's the reason that happens that way. So, yeah, Tim Hardaway was okay. He didn't play great. He didn't shoot great. He actually got to a great start. And once again, this is why, I think he was tired. Because he started off, guys, when he was fresh, when he had his legs in the first quarter, he had 11 points. He's averaging 11 points on the year a game. He's averaging 11 points a game this season, right? He had 11 points in the first quarter because he was fresh. So, but the rest of the game, he couldn't knock down shots because he was tired, because he was guarding bigger guys. You see what I'm saying? So that's the point. That's the point. So I'm not bothered by his lack of shooting tonight or last game, because when you look at the why behind it, right? Take a little bit deeper of a look at it, you can kind of understand why. So he was okay. He was solid. He didn't play great. He gave us the defensive effort, right? You never see him getting lost. You never see him giving up easy points. How many times have you seen Tim Hardaway Jr. give up layups? And his teammates looking at him like, I think Asar did that once, like 2 games ago. Other than that, I haven't seen it all year. Or very seldom. So he is a very solid defender. You can't teach size, and it's unfair to him to put him at the 3. It just is. So I'm gonna leave that there. Let's go to our power forward of the night, Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson had 15 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block on 7 for 13 shooting, 1 for 1 from 3 in 29 minutes. I think this is like the 4th or 5th game he's had at least 1 steal and 1 block in the same game. Man, Asar Thompson, special player, man. He's already a special talent. Already. And tonight, he was good on both ends. He was. Trying to do everything, a little bit of everything, trying to be everywhere and cover up for mistakes and cover up for smaller guys like THJ, trying to guard bigger guys, and then trying to rebound. He did all he could, right? In the first possession of the game, he had a steal. He just took the ball out of DeRozan's hands. DeRozan was trying to go up and foul bait for a 3. Asar put his hand up, didn't move, and he didn't hear a whistle. He snatched the ball away, right? And I was happy to see that. And by the way, he took that coast to coast, by the way. But I was happy to see that because he's really been getting the short end of the stick, guarding guys, and we know what kind of league it is now. But if you saw, he talked about it earlier today. The Pistons media team, social media team, asked every player what their biggest pet peeve was, right? Like basketball-wise in the game. And Asar said foul baiting, right? Just drawing fouls. I think he was kind of talking about the foul merchant in Shea, right? And we all saw that play when Shea grabbed his arm and pulled him into him and bounced off like he was the one that Asar did something wrong. So it's nice to see Asar get a steal in that situation instead of a foul, And he's really he's a defensive menace, man. He had another steal in the backcourt in the first quarter. After he missed a shot, got the steal, got the layup. He's a menace. He really is a menace, man. That's why I said all the time, he is Tasmanian Thompson. He is just everywhere. Everywhere. And you can't relax with him, right? The passes you could normally make comfortably to teammates, they're not quite as safe with Asar because he's just so quick to the ball. His speed is just different, man. And the Pistons are finding ways now to get him closer to the basket offensively for his points. I like what I'm seeing offensively for him. He shot 7 for 13 tonight. I'm sorry, 7 for 13. So once again, better than 50%. This is the 3rd or 4th straight game. I think now he shot better than 50% from the field. And all of his buckets, for the most part, aside from that 1-3 tonight, I think we're all in the paint, all at the hoop, right? No more putting him in the corner for multiple possessions. I wouldn't do that anymore consistently, until he gets better with the shot. Because he still doesn't seem, well, I'll take that back. He did take his only shot, his only three-pointer. He took it and he made it. So I like him doing that. But it seems like they're making sure he doesn't take too many. But most of his points now are just coming from cutting to the basket without the ball, right? Moving without the ball. Like once Cade or Shorter would get into the paint, penetrate, he would dart. He would dart to the hoop. And I like that because he's not a good enough ball handler yet to be able to consistently, get downhill like a Ron Holland can get downhill effectively without losing the ball nearly as much and score. Asar's not great at that. When he does it and doesn't lose the ball, it looks effortless though because he's so athletic. He gets downhill, he secures the ball, goes up, his speed and then his hops is hard to stop that. But it's just so many times he loses the ball before he even gets there, right? So that's really the thing. So it seems like in the meantime, between time, until he gets his handle under control, they would rather him move without the basketball. And I love that because once he gets the ball in the paint, 2 feet in the paint, and he goes up, 90% chance you're not going to block his shot. He just jumps too high and he hangs in the air for a week. So I like the strategy the Pistons are using because it's cutting down on his turnovers and it's getting him higher quality shots like tonight. So Asar Thompson was great. He was really, really good tonight. I just wish he could have been in two places at one time because with him being the forward tonight, it was tough for him to really be able to defend like he wanted to on the perimeter. Manolano says, Devin, I think Thompson twins are all-stars. Then, wow, next year? Okay, we'll see. I may have to start this comment. I'm going to start you on this one. I'm not mad at it, but that's quick. That's quick, man. I think he has a ways to go to be an all-star because he has a lot of things he still has to work on. I think once he becomes polished, he's a perennial all-star. I think both of them are. Him and Amin are perennial all-stars once they get their handle. Well, not even really Amin because Amin's a good ball handler. But I think once Asar gets his handle tight and he gets a respectable three, he is going to be a perennial all-star. That's what I think. I think he has at least 2 or 3 times. I think that about a few of these. I think Jaden, the same thing. Cade, obviously, same thing, right? So I think we have those guys on this team. JD, same thing. I think he's going to get to at least 1 or 2. So we'll see. We'll see. Tasmanian Thompson and Road. I like that. Road Runner Ron. Ooh, I like that because he gets downhill. I like that. Tasmanian Thompson and Road. Okay, Monolando. I'm going to start this one as well. That's a good comment. I may have to borrow a patent from you on that because I may have to use that. That's nice. I like that. Asar needs to work on his handle down. Exactly. He has to work on that handle. He has to. You guys are all saying the same thing. If he figures out the handle, DG, he'll be just as good as his brother, in my opinion. Yes. 100%. 100%. Asar's handles were nice against Jason Tatum, especially that one play, right? When he had Jason Tatum all out of control, doing a triple dig spin in the air. Had them all kind of confused, right? So, yeah. The flashes are there. You see the flashes. Now it's just about consistency. It's all about consistency. That's really what it comes down to. All right, guys, let's get back to this game. Let's see. Let's go to our last starter, Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren struggled tonight. He struggled. He had 6 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, on 2 of 4 shooting, 2 of 2 from the line, in 20 minutes. So first thing that jumps out, right, is the 20 minutes. 6 points too, but the 20 minutes. He was in foul trouble all night long. He got off to a great start, right? He had 3 assists in the first 4 minutes of the game. Just finding, I think he had 4 or 5 in the first quarter alone, right? But he got in foul trouble. And once again, Sabonis is a load, man. He's a load. He's tough. He's tough early on. He was just getting whatever he wanted. And then I think JD tried to get more physical with him, and they started calling fouls. So he really wasn't able to play like he wanted to. But that's a tough cover, man. That's a tough cover. In 20 minutes, you're not really going to be able to get much done as a starter. You're just not. And he looked like he was on his way to a solid game. He shot 2 or 4. He only took 4 shots. So it's like you really see he wasn't able to really get anything going. And he just has to be better defensively in the paint. And he has to force Sabonis right. I know even though if you do that, he's going to find a counter to get back to his left hand. He always wants to get to that left hand, guys. Sabonis, once as a lefty, as a southpaw myself, when I watch him play, I'm like, oh, he's about to make a move and get right back to that left. You know what I mean? I saw it. I'm left-handed, so I know what it looks like. So I'm just like, JD, like shade him to his right, bro. Like cut off his left. You know what I mean? So I would have liked to see that more, even if you're just forcing him to work harder just to get back to the left hand. Just don't give it to him initially. You gotta force him back. You gotta force him back. So that was the only thing. Well, one of the things I saw with JD defensively that he has to be more aware of. If you're gonna say a guy ain't hard to guard, you better know how to guard him. You know. So, and of course, it's easier said than done, right? He's the one out there playing. I'm watching. We're watching. So it's easier said than done. But you gotta know your personnel. You gotta know your personnel. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it. He didn't have a good game, got in foul trouble, and was pretty much, moot the rest of the game because he just couldn't be impactful because he couldn't get in the floor. So, yeah, tough game for JD, man. But like I said, he's been having great games. His last game, before he missed the last one, he had 21 and 18. Played great defense. Had 6 assists and 4 blocks. So it's like, fine. Okay, cool. Had a bad game. But just keep in mind those things as far as going forward because, it's gonna be some bigs in the playoffs he's gonna have to go against. Cat is no joke. Cat is much better offensively than Sabonis because he can get it done from everywhere, not just the post. He's got great foot speed, got a handle, he can shoot from 3. So JD's got to be smarter as a defender. It's going to be very important to watch in that next series is how he defends and if he can avoid foul trouble and if our bigs as a whole can avoid foul trouble. So that's my take on JD. Dominic says, I'd like to see Duren get a few more paint touches in the post because he draws fouls, because he's so physical, get their bigs in foul trouble. I would too. I think as of right now, they really just want him to be a roller. But I understand what you're saying. I don't think he's really a post player yet, though. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's a post player yet. I could be wrong. I don't know. I wouldn't mind it because, like you said, he's a force in the paint, so he can at least draw fouls, and he's a solid shooter from the free throw line. Solid free throw shooter. So I'm not mad at that, Dominique. I think that may be a way to go in certain situations, as long as he's not trying to bring the ball up court. He did it again. He does this thing where he loves to bring the ball up court, and he almost lost it again. On one play, he tried to go to the hoop. He tried to take it I think he was an inbound. He brought the ball all the way up court, tried to drive to the hoop. Wasn't really a driving lane there. Ball got stripped. He almost lost it. So it's like, he has to stop doing, even if you bring it just to half court, just to give Cade a second or two, just to give him a blow for a second. Okay, fine. Get past half court, get the ball up. Let Cade run the offense. But don't try to play make. If you do that, make sure you are positioned in the post when you catch the ball and try to play make. Try to find a cutter, right? I like him when he's passing the ball and trying to play make when he's stationary. He's got the ball here. Now we can just use his vision and make the right play like a quarterback. But I don't want him dribbling into a play make. Like if I take you, I don't want to see him dribbling into a play make. If he sees a pass stationary, make it. But don't try to be a guard. And that's the thing with JD that I've been talking about all year, is that just continue. And he's done a great job just playing to your strengths. Play to your strengths. Don't get out of control. And he did it once tonight, but it was only one time. So I'm going to watch for that. But it wasn't a major thing. I've seen it all year long. So I hope he continues to be disciplined offensively. So we'll see. We'll see. And you're right. Not yet, Dominique, but he draws fouls. Exactly. So I feel you on that. He out here thinking he Jalen Irving, Magic Johnson, Duren bring the ball up court. Right. You just can't do that. You can't, you got guards for that. Devin says, Cat shoot a lot of threes. He missed a lot. We got him there. If he misses a lot, but honestly, man, Devin, he's one of the best big man shooters ever. And I'm not even a huge Cat fan, but game recognized game, man. He's a really good shooter. He won a 3-point contest. That's not saying, everything, but you don't see many big guys winning 3-point contests. He can shoot the ball. You don't want to leave him open. You do not want to leave that guy open. He will make you pay. So, yeah, I respect this game, but they got to make sure they're aware of that. All right, let's get back to the game, guys. Let's get back to the box score. Let's go to the bench, and then we'll look at the standings and call tonight. Let's start with Fontecchio, man. Fontecchio tonight, guys. He had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 turnover, on 1 for 3 shooting, 0-2 from 3 in 8 minutes. Another cardio night, guys. Another cardio night. Fontecchio, it's been a rough go for him, man. And I never want to bash any of these guys, but it's just getting hard coming on here every game, it feels like now, and just talking about how he's underachieving. His performance is underwhelming. He made some nice plays. He had some good moments, but it just wasn't enough impact for me. Like, he had a nice baseline drive. He passed it to Stu, got fouled for a shot, got fouled. But he really he tried to get on the glass. He couldn't secure offensive rebounds. He couldn't secure defensive rebounds. He just looks out of place, guys. He looks out of place. I'm just being honest. He looks out of place. Like, I know I try to give these guys time. I always talk about patience. I'm the guy that's always talking about patience. So if I'm saying these things, it's because I've tried to exercise it, and I'm just not seeing any improvement. We're at the end of the season now, and I feel like he's the only guy who really hasn't improved, which is unfortunate for him. And it looks like he is trying to play more the right way. It's just not conducive to his game. And like tonight, he took 2 threes, he missed 2 more. I don't think he's hit a 3 in the last few games now. I think he's like 0 in the last 2 or 3 games. And he's getting good looks, wide open looks, in rhythm looks. Like, it's everything you want for him. Coming off a screen, catching it a la MPJ, right? Michael Porter Jr., to a much lesser extent. That's what you want to see him doing. But he's just not able to knock him down. And if he's not knocking down a shot, unfortunately, he's not really giving you too much. He had a steal, 2 boards. But 8 minutes, it's the reason he played 8 minutes, guys. He played the fewest minutes out of the whole team. He's just not really impactful. He's just not really effective. He's just a body out there at this point. I think he's a talented guy. He's just not able to get it going. He's just not able to get anything going. So I think the Pistons, once again, I don't know how much we're going to see him in the playoffs. I don't know. He may play here and there because he has been playing all year and he's familiar with these guys and they're familiar with him. There's something to be said about that consistency, right? But as far as relying on him to give you output every night, I don't think this team has it in him because he hasn't really showed consistency all year. I don't remember Fontecchio having a good 5-game stretch all year. Like 5 games in a row where he was just solid. Not all-star numbers, not even starter numbers, but just solid. I don't think I've seen that from him all year. I've seen a 5-game stretch of a rookie by the name of Ron Holland who's been solid 5 games in a row. I've seen that. Multiple 5-game stretches where he's been solid 5 games in a row. Not great. Not awesome, but not terrible either. Just good, just positive impact, right? I have not seen that from Fontecchio all year. Heisenberg, I think you said it best, bro. For a catch and shoot guy, he's really been bad. Right? If you're a catch and shoot guy, you can't have a slump where you don't make a 3 for games, and you're getting good looks and rhythm. You gotta knock him down at some point. You just have to. You just have to. Otherwise, which is supposedly, but if you're not good at what you're supposed to be best at, then how are you with things you're not good at? You know what I mean? Like, if the thing you're best at is not going for you, what else can you offer? That's why I like guys like Ron who don't have to score to be impactful, right? So we'll see, man. Dominic says Tech barely has a good 5-minute stretch. I don't know, 5. Yeah, it's just, and I want him to do well because if he's doing well, he's helping our team. He seemed like he's a real cool guy, real great guy, but on the court, he's just not doing it. He's just not doing it right now. So the Pistons right now, they got to roll with what they got. They got to roll with the guys they got. There is no trading for anybody. There's no free agents you can go find. This is your team. This is the team. So hopefully we can get more out of him, or hopefully if we don't, coach can find somewhere else to go. Bobby Clipman, Lindy Waters, somebody. But we got to get some more output from that spot because it's hurting us. It's hurting us. So I'll leave it at that for Fontecchio, man. I hope he does get it together. I want to see him succeed. I never want to come on here and not even badmouth, just be overly critical of anybody. But when I gotta call it like I see it, man. I gotta call it like I see it. I gotta be fair. I gotta be honest. That's all I'm ever gonna be. So it is what it is. Let's move on. Mega Hustler says Lindy Waters and Bobby Clinton should all replace. I've been on that for months now. Well, not months because we haven't had Lindy for months. But Bobby, I've been on that for months. That I want to see him get some minutes to get those minutes. I think he can provide more right now than what Fontecchio was giving us because I think he's more versatile. He can handle the ball. He's a good passer. He's a good finisher. I think he may be a better athlete than Fontecchio too. So we'll see. I could be wrong about that part, but we'll see. Defensive-wise, I do think Fontecchio is a little bit ahead, but I think it's because he has had more time to play in the league. So long-term, I'm definitely looking to upgrade that spot. I think Bobby can be the guy to do it because he's immensely talented. Immensely talented, man. Yeah. Devin says, talking about Fontecchio too, get him going. I mean, yeah, that's if he's watching. You know what I'm saying? I do think, I'm pretty sure some of these guys watch. I know some of these guys do watch the show. But yeah, man, like, I'm not even trying to do it for that reason. I'm just like I'm not even on the reverse psychology tip. I'm just like, bro, come on, man. We rooting for you, bro. Let's go. Come on. Let's give us something. Give us something, you know? So that's it. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to get on them too hard, man. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. We can go all night. I see y'all still going. I'm going to leave them alone for now. We're going to leave it there. Let's go to Ron Holland, right? So Ron tonight had 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 2 or 3 shooting overall, 1 from 1 from the line, in 15 minutes. So once again, Ron was solid. He didn't have a huge output. He only played 15 minutes, but he gave us great defense. He gave us a steal. He gave us an assist. He got to the free throw line. He gave us, you know what I mean? Like, so look, check this out. Fontecchio was a negative 14 in 8 minutes. Holland was a plus 8 in 15. He only scored 3 more points. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference. Impact. A lot of time you can find impact if you look at the plus minus. Not always, but a lot of time you can find the impact in the plus minus. You can't always find the impact in the points. If you're scoring 40 points on 40 shots, that's not a good impact. That's actually a negative impact, right? But what are you doing across the board? Across the board. And Ron is able to, across the board, impact the game in multiple ways. Yes, I think he should have played more too, Dominique. I think he should have played more for sure. Greg Kelser unmatched. What you mean? Let me know what that's about. He plays solid D. Yeah, Fontecchio does play solid D. He plays solid D. But I still need more. Because, like, think about other guys on this team who play. I'll give you a perfect example. The guy that comes to mind for me when I hear solid defense on this team, Tim Hardaway Jr., right? I never say he's a great defender. I never say he's an awesome defender. I never say he's a clamper because he's not any of those things. But he's a solid defender. Plus, he's a knockdown shooter. He's a willing passer. He makes the right plays. His IQ is off the charts, guys. He's not the most athletic guy, but Tim Hardaway Jr. is, in my opinion, one of the smarter NBA players. IQ, smart, like just fundamentally sound, right? So that's the difference. Again, impact. So even though you got Fontecchio as a solid defensive player, THJ is a solid defensive player, but THJ's impact is just on another level. And he can go get buckets for you when you need him to. The last 4 games before this one, he had 20 points, 23 points, 22 points, 32 points. Right? So, yes, Orlando, he's like our version of Danny Green. I like that a lot. Tim Hardaway Jr. is like our version of Danny Green. Not quite the consistent shooter, right? I think Danny Green set the record for most threes made in the finals when the Spurs were losing to my Miami Heat in 2013. He broke Ray Allen's record. Finals threes made that Ray Allen set in 2008 when they beat the Lakers. In the Lakers. So I like that comparison. He is a Danny Green type of guy, a glue guy, a guy who every night you can rely on to do the same things and help your team more than hurt it. Shots not going, he's going to find other ways to help you. That was Danny Green. That's Tim Hardaway. Those are winning basketball players. Those are the guys you absolutely need to have on your team, in your locker room. 100%. That's a great comparison, Orlando. I like that a lot. All right, let's get back, man. Because but Ron was pretty pretty good tonight. I liked what I saw from him. The effort and energy is always there. He had a few nice plays too. He had a steal and a run out dunk for an and one. That play was crazy too, because like we always talk about Asar's speed and how fast Asar is. Ron ain't that far behind, man. Out on the break, that dude is fast. Vertical, north south, he's fast. He got a steal, and it looked like, and you know, in football, when you see a guy trying to score a touchdown, right, and the other guy has the angle, and you're like, yeah, he should catch him. But the guy running just continues to race. Like he couldn't catch him. That was Ron, because on the break, Valanciunas was way ahead of him, trying to get back to the rim to stop the score. But Ron just ran past him. I know Valanciunas is a big guy, but he had a nice distance on Ron as far as being able to catch it. He just couldn't. Ron just ran away from the dude. So yeah, like I love the athleticism that Ron brings us, and the defensive tenacity that he brings us, and the effort. He's high motor too. He's high motor, man. And I love how he plays defense. Most of the time he's guarding guys like guards that are smaller and quicker, but he's able to move his feet and still stay in front, man. Like he gives the Pistons a lot of versatility defensively, for sure. He finishes well. Dominic says he finishes well around the basket. I wish we would get him in position to score a little. We will, Dominic. He's a rookie. He's a rookie, man. I think next year we're going to see a nice jump from Ron. This offseason for Ron is going to be important, and I think he's going to have a bigger role next year. But he's having an amazing rookie year. Great rookie year, man. Mega Hustle, yeah. He had that J-Mo speed. He was flying, wasn't he? He was moving. Now, to be fair, Mega Hustle is just playing, guys. He doesn't literally mean that. Like, nobody on the Pistons squad is as fast as Jamison Williams. Nobody, not even Asar, is as fast as Jamison Williams. Jamison Williams is a speed demon. He's like Tyreek Hill fast. It don't make sense. So, but the point is that he's got, relatively in the NBA, he's got that kind of speed, right? For the NBA level. So, but yeah, I love Ron, man. I love what we're getting from him. Chris Moore says, I totally agree. That's why I said before that he's solid on D, that he's the only one I'll trade if the team next year for Reed. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Yeah, so honestly, guys, I'm still on that train too. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I'm on that train too. I'm on the same train. All right, let's move, guys, let's go to Isaiah Stewart. So tonight, guys, Isaiah Stewart had 8 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, 2 blocks on 2 of 6 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line in 28 minutes. Stu had the most rebounds in this game for the Pistons in 28 minutes. A big part of that was because he had to play so many minutes because JD went down. Like I mentioned, JD had 20 minutes. He played 20 minutes tonight, and Stu had 28. So Stu was on the court more, and he was more productive. And with Stu, like, I noticed, guys, offensively, he's been taking more threes lately. I don't know how to feel about it yet. I do like that he's taking them, but I don't want Stu taking 4 or 5 threes a game. He didn't tonight. I think he took like, 2 or 3? He took 3. So, but he has been taking more than normal. I think he went a stretch where he didn't take any at all for like a bunch of games. Didn't even take one. So maybe the Pistons are looking to utilize him more if he's being left open. Maybe they saw he was being left open too much, and they're like, okay, let's make the defense pay. And once they do, let's stretch him out and make them defense do. And now we have more room around on the court, right? So I do like that he's taking more threes, and he can obviously knock him down with confidence because he's been shooting threes since last year, right? So, but he did have a tough matchup, man. Jonas Valanciunas is a big dude. Jonas Valanciunas off the bench, that dude is like 6'11", 270. That's a load, man. That is a load to deal with. Like, Stu had to go from guarding Zach Edey to Jonas Valanciunas in back-to-back games. Yikes. Yikes, right? So talk about getting in the hot tub, bro, the cold tub, whatever, because talk about the bumps and bruises you get from guarding those two guys back-to-back. That's tough. And Jaren Jackson Jr. in that last game, too. Stu was battling both of those guys. So getting multiple blocks on JJJ. So, yeah, man, I have nothing negative to say about Stu tonight. He did what he does. And he gave the Pistons a lot of extra possessions, too. There was a play in the third quarter. The Pistons had 4 offensive rebounds. One of the few times they were the ones that were benefiting from offensive rebounds. They had 4 in 1 possession. And Stu, I think, on 2 of those 4 rebounds, got a tap out. Just keeping the ball alive. Just moving around, not allowing himself to get sealed, being active in the paint, being physical, and just getting up above the guy, against his guy, and just tapping it out with extra effort. Like that's Isaiah Stewart, man. That's what Stu does. So nothing negative at all to say about Stu. Nothing. I got nothing. All right, let's go to the comments. Let me double check. Let me check. Nobody noticed he got a good post game, Devin said. He does. He does, man. He definitely does. I wish Stu was taller. I do too. If Stu is 6'10", 6'11", is an all-star, in my opinion. Or at least all-star level. Or close to it. Right? I think he could be that. Ron's going to be working out with Stu all offseason. Dominic says, yeah, I definitely see that. I think a lot of guys are, to be honest. Devon says, what's the things that can hold us back from taking a leap next year? How can we avoid being like the Magic? Well, one way, Devon, is by avoiding injuries, right? Because the Magic this year were hurt all year. Paolo was out. Both of the Wadners were out. I think Anthony, what's his name? The one that took out J.I.'s leg. Cole Anthony, he's been hurt. A lot of the guys have been hurt this year. So I think that's a big piece of it. I think if they were healthy all year, it would have been a different story. Because toward the end of the year, they started coming on late. I think that's the biggest thing, Devon, honestly. I think it's just health. Yes, Dominique, Suggs too. Suggs is also hurt. So that's like 5 guys. So imagine JD is out for most of the year. Asar is out for most of the year. Stu is out for most of the year. Jaden's out for most of imagine all those guys being out because that's their young core, right? That's their core. So I think that was the biggest thing, Devon, for them. There were other things too, but I think just health. Just health. I mean, you can't ask any team to really do well if they are missing 3 or 4 of their starters for big portions of the season. So I think that's the biggest thing. The Pistons can stay healthy, which works in their favor because they're young. They got young legs, they got young bodies, young guys, right? They can stay healthy and avoid these freak accidents where guys are just being reckless like we had this year. It'd be a totally different story, in my opinion. I think Orlando would be firmly in the mix of pretty much where we are right now, in that 6 to 5 spot, maybe even higher. I think they have that much talent. So we'll see. Good question, Devon. I hear you. All right. Let's go to, we got 2 more bench guys, and then we're out of here, right? Let's go to Malik Beasley. So Beasley tonight, guys, had 14 points, 2 assists, 1 board, 5 for 15 shooting, 4 for 14 from 3, 0 for 2 from the free throw line in 30 minutes. So once again, guys, Beasley also didn't play well. He had 14 points, but he didn't shoot it well, right? He didn't shoot it well. He had, 30%? 33%? 5 for 50? Yeah, so he didn't shoot well. I think, once again, the domino effect of guys just shuffling around really affected everybody. And having to chase around guys like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan all game will make you tired. It will make you tired. But that just shows me, though, Beasley is sacrificing his offense for his defense. Because he could easily take plays off. And like I always say, he's not a good defender. He's a little less than the average defender, in my opinion. I'm not saying he's a good defender. But he is a willing defender. He's bought into trying to play team defense. And when you exert more energy on the offensive end, it's going to sap you defensively. We see so many guys taking plays off defensively around the league so they can be fresh on the offensive end. You see a guy looking like you see all the time, guys on the defensive end who don't get back on defense, right? And the other team's running. They got numbers and they don't score. And then your team gets the ball back and they push it ahead to you and you got this easy layup. That's not good offense. You just got lucky. You just got lucky because they didn't score when they had numbers and you were lollygagging and you were the beneficiary of them not scoring. So you got the offensive leak out, right? But that's not good offense. That's lazy defense. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that, man. He literally has been engaged, taking ownership for when he didn't make the right defensive rotation. I seen him getting huddles. That's my fault. That's my bad. He knows, but he's still trying. That's all I can ask for, right? He's one of the best. We know what he's done shooting the ball. He just became the 5th player ever to put up 300 threes and make 300 threes in a season. He joined Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, James Harden, and most recently, Anthony Edwards. Those are 3 of the best shooters of all time. shooters of all time. James Harden is top 4, top 5 all time in threes made. I think he passed Reggie Miller. I think he may have passed Ray Allen. So the company that Malik Beasley is in, shooting the ball, just to be getting effort from him defensively, I'll take that. I'll take it. Just don't be lazy, which he's not. He's not lazy. He's not a good defender, but he's not lazy. He's trying to the point where he's actually missing shots on the other end because he's trying so hard defensively. So fine. Bad shooting night. Okay. Happens. Same with THJ. Out of position, playing bigger guys, but still trying and not being lazy and still trying. Bad shooting night. Okay. If you're leading with defense, I'm okay with it because we're a defensive team first. I'd rather win games 92-90 than to win them 142-140. That's who we are. So to see guys, shooters like that, who are known for that, committing to that end goes a long way. Goes a long way, for sure. Monolando says, the big difference between his B's is doing this off the bench, which is more impressive than Ant and anyone else. Yes. Ant takes way more threes, too. And he doesn't make them at nearly the rate that Beasley does. That's the thing. I mentioned it last show. Devon says he gives effort, but I think he needs to be on the floor with Ron or Sark to help the defensive balance. I 100% agree. And he normally is with Ron. He's usually on the floor with Ron, which I like. Right? So you can kind of try to hide him a little bit. But it's hard, bro, when you've got two wings, like the Kings do, who can score it the way they do. When you got a DeRozan and you got a Levine, you can't really hide anybody. You know what I mean? That's what makes it hard. That's what made it hard tonight. So I'm with you on that. I think tonight was just a product of a bad matchup. Aside from them giving the game away in the second quarter. Late in the game, it was just a bad matchup. They had great scores at positions that we were not able to defend. And us having guys down affected that. So I agree with you. Let's move on. Let's get to our last guy. Let's go to Marcus Sasser. Disaster Sasser. Splasher Sasser. Right? The assassin. He had 8 points tonight, 3 assists, 1 board on 3 of 5 shooting, 1 for 2 from the line, and 1 for 2 from 3. In 10 minutes. He only played 10 minutes? It felt like he played more than 10 minutes. Wow. So he was good in 10 minutes, guys. 8 points and 3 assists in 10 minutes. Talk about efficient, man. He always, for the most part, he stays ready. He's very professional. And when his number's called, regardless if he's going to play 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute, he always is ready. He stays ready so he doesn't have to what? Y'all know. But I think he may have been feeling good. He was a little freaky tonight, man. It looked like he was feeling good after his alma mater, the Cougars, right, beat Duke last night in the Final Four. I think he was feeling good. If you saw his IG story, you saw he was going crazy, right? It looked like he was in good spirits, and he played well tonight. He looked good, man. I think the first 4 minutes of the game when he was in the first quarter, or second quarter, whichever it was, he was responsible for 12 points. 12 Pistons points in 4 minutes, whether he was scoring or whether he was getting other guys involved. 12 points in 4 minutes, guys. Like, this is definitely one of the better games this year for Sass. Not stat-wise, but just how he was playing the game, right? How he was playing the game. What he was doing on the court. And like I mentioned, his shot was falling, but he was also getting penetration whenever he wanted and making the right play out of it more times than not. To me, it just looks like Sasser understands what he's supposed to be doing. Early in the season, it looked like he was just out there. Like we always say, Fontecchio was just kind of out there, not really sure, not really playing with intention, not really just kind of there, hoping he doesn't step on people's feet and get in the way. Like, it kind of seems like that. It just kind of seemed like that. Like, that's kind of how Sasser looked early this season. By the way, Florida beat Houston. Wow, I didn't realize that. So it's over. Wow, that's tragic. Tragic for Sasser. Hopefully he doesn't affect this game going forward. But shout out to Florida. I wanted Houston to win after beating Duke, but oh well, tragic. But with Sasser, man, I think he should get more minutes, especially right now. Like, I think he should get a shot. I don't think it's going to be consistent. I think it's going to be more so when the team is kind of stuck in the mud offensively or guys are in foul trouble, like say K gets in foul trouble or Shorter gets in foul trouble, or those guys just can't get it going, like they're just struggling with their shot and they can't get anything going, I think then you'll see more Saz. Because Saz can just come in and just get a bucket, man. I said it before. He is a very polished offensive player. He's a very, very polished offensive player, man. He's got that ball on a string. Every time he shoots the ball, it looks like it's going in. He's got great form, great balance on his shot. He's just a very polished and fundamental basketball player. And when you're not one of the biggest guys, you kind of have to be. You know, there's a lot of guys who are little, or not even little, but who, because listen, I'm a guard too. I'm 5'8" on a good day, so I can say it. A lot of guys who are little in the NBA, like, in order for you to be successful, you got to be really, really, really good and really, really polished in a lot of areas. Think about little guys like CP3, for example. He's not athletic. He's not the fastest guy, never has been, but he's smart. His vision is off the charts. His leadership, off the charts, right? Isaiah Thomas, the younger version, or the original. We already know about Zeke, right? But 5'8" Isaiah Thomas, polished offensively. See what I'm saying? Like, though, when you're not one of the bigger guys in the league, you gotta be really, really, really good at pretty much everything else. And you gotta play bigger than you are defensively. You gotta be really physical defensively. Otherwise, you get abused. You will get abused. So that's Sasser. He is a dog on defense. He doesn't give an inch, right? He's not going to give you anything easy, and he's always going to play hard defensively. Always. He always plays hard defensively. And offensively, he's polished. He is very much, yes, Monalado, he's very much finesse and IQ, 100%. He's got some dog to him, though. He got some dog to him. But yes, finesse and IQ. He's a very, very smart player, and he's a very talented player. So it looks like the game now is Devin, yes, slowing down for him. It looks like now he understands the offense. He understands what he's supposed to be doing, where he's supposed to be, and when he's supposed to be doing it. And he's not just shooting the ball. It's not just off a long range step back three. Like, his shot was falling, but he's also now getting penetration. He was getting it whenever he wanted. You know, so he just looks so much more comfortable. When he catches the ball, he knows where he's supposed to go with it next. If they're running a set, he's not catching and watching and looking, and he's catching it, making the right play. He understands what to do now, and that comes with time. That's why, once again, I've said all year, you got to give these guys time to gel, to understand the coach, understand the schemes on both sides, understand your teammates, and then understand how you fit within all that. That happens more times. It takes longer than a season. And we're seeing he's starting to finally get it now. That's why he looks so much better and so much more confident when he's playing. So that's why you got to have patience, man, with all these young guys, all of them. So I think with Sasser, we're going to see him get better and better now, because it was never the talent. It was never the talent, guys. It was always about putting him in position to be successful and then making sure that he understands how to execute that. Dominic Davis says, had to randomly toss this out there, but are people still upset we didn't give up assets for Ingram? He's been helping out Scotty Barnes and the Raptors so much since that trade, right? Yeah, helping them out, keep that bench warm. That's all he's been doing. This is, bro, I'm so glad you mentioned this. The Brandon Ingrams of the world, the Devin Bookers of the world, all these guys, no, not on our team. We're not built that way. Brandon Ingram has never been known to go all out on defense. We've seen every starter on this team at times go all out on defense. Cade, Jaden, THJ, Asar, Tobias, JD. We've seen all these guys go all out on defense. I've never seen Brandon Ingram go all out on defense. I've never seen him healthy enough to be able to go all out on defense. He can't even stay healthy. So you don't want to add guys like that to a team that has always won with depth. Even Booker, no, he doesn't fit defensively. Offensively, he would give us a little bit more versatility, maybe. But what are you losing defensively? What you're built on? We're not built on offense. We don't need his offense. We need everybody's defense. So if you don't fit the identity or add to the identity, I don't want you on this team, especially at $50 million a year. That is literally shooting yourself in the foot, guys. Especially, once again, timelines don't fit. He is not 23, 24, 25, 26. So when he's leaving his prime is when the Pistons' young core is going to be entering their prime. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. It's all about timeline. So that's why, like Dominique mentioned, imagine him on his team now, paying him however much he's making, 25, 30 million a year, 35 million a year, to sit in the bench. And when he's playing, he's not really playing in a way that fits your team's identity. Is he going to be a spacer for Cade? No. Like, I'd rather have Tobias than Brandon Ingram on his team. Honestly, because Tobias goes all out defensively now. We see him on the break getting steals and dunks, multiple steals and dunks in the game. We see him getting on the boards, grabbing rebounds, right? I'd rather have Tobias at what he's making from a leadership standpoint as well. Yeah, over Brandon Ingram all day long. No question about it. No question about it. So, yeah, great point, Dominique. I think you and I have been saying that with you've been saying that for a while. We've all been saying it. You know, you've been on a stream with King. We all talked about it, right? So, yeah, you get it. Yeah, I'm good on guys like that, and I think we all kind of understand why now. When you look at what we have on this team and how we're looking now, you don't need that kind of guy. It's a fancy, cute name. It's fun. It sounds fun, but it ain't gonna be fun when you see it on the court. It's just not gonna look good. So yeah, great comment, Dominic. I really appreciate that. That was a great comment. One more from you. Gotta give Tobias credit. He's played some of the best defense of his career. Bro, not even just defense, basketball. But yeah, because of the defense. When he was here in 2016, he was a bucket. Like, he was maybe even more of a bucket then than he is now. But defensively, the gap between him offensively and defensively then and now, the gap between him offensively in 2016 to the gap now, he'd be a little bit better offensively maybe then. But the gap defensively from then to now is like this. It's night and day. It is night and day, man. It's crazy. Yeah, Devin, it looks like 0-4 defense, the way they play, the way they all play together. Exactly. 100%. 100%. So you guys get it. You guys get it, man. Perfect example of a bad contract right there. Exactly, Alan. Exactly. So, yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Yes, we don't want jersey sales. We want to win. First and foremost, we want to win. Defense wins games. Y'all own it. Y'all understand. Y'all get it. Y'all get it, man. All right. So let's go ahead now, guys, and go to the standings and take a look at what's going on here. And guys, like, listen, for the last 2 weeks, I've been walking everybody through this about what I thought was going to happen with the standings, right? And hey, listen, man, I've been watching hoop for a little while now, so I kind of have an idea of how these things are going to go. And just look at how the team was moving and how other teams are moving. Yeah, so take a look at this, guys. I said about 2 weeks ago that I thought the Pistons were going to fall to 6 when they were at 5, comfortably at 5. And I said that because of who we were going to play, right? The New York Knicks. That is who the Pistons, I believe, are going to play. I think that's who they want to play for many reasons. I'm not going to outline them all now. We talked about it already. But I don't think it's a coincidence that all these teams above us are winning and we are losing. We haven't played the Thunder in back-to-back games to have these losses. Like, we should have beat the Kings tonight. We could have beat the Grizzlies last game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think the Pistons are killing two birds with one stone. I personally think, I have no intel on this, I just personally think that the Pistons are on one hand trying to get healthy while not being upset if they lose a game or two here. Because if we were to be at 5, we play the Pacers, who was not a good matchup for us. Look at the Pacers, man. They're not losing. They just beat Denver at Denver. Like, these boys are rolling, man. In their last 10 are 8-2. And before that, the last 20, they've been playing really, really well. They're hot right now. They're extremely hot right now. And like another game they won early in the season, they pretty much cut off and stopped. They snapped the T-Wolves' 8-game winning streak, and the Pacers didn't have 4 of their starters, and they were on the road. Nah, man, like they're gonna be a tough out, guys. The Pacers are gonna be a tough out for whoever they play in that first round or second round. I think the Bucks are gonna beat them because they're going to have Giannis, They're going to have Dame back, who's coming back, and they're going to have Portis back. And they want revenge against the Pacers because the Pacers were gloating last year when they beat the Giannis-less Bucks. He went down in game 1, the game they won in that series, and they lost in 6. So I think that's the thing. The Bucks guys are playing the way the Bucks are playing. It looks like they want the Pacers. They're trying to stay at 5. I can't remember the last time the Bucks won 4 straight. They doing it right now. I'm watching how Giannis is playing. He's playing like he wants to win every game. Why else would you want to play why else would you want to win every game when you know you're in the playoffs? I'm not saying play well. I'm not saying, make sure your team is playing well. But why are you so hell-bent on winning every game when you know you're going to the playoffs? Maybe because you want to see somebody in particular. I'm just saying. And that is why I thought the Pistons were going to be at 6, because I felt they wanted to be there. And I felt the Bucks wanted to be at 5. So that's kind of my take on that. That's kind of what I saw. And that's kind of how it looks like it's playing out right now. So we'll see what happens. I think the Chess ready said the Bucks can't beat the Pacers. Why not? Why not? I felt like they would have beat them last year had Giannis not gotten hurt. Right? They won game. Don't forget, the Bucks won game 1 of that series against the Pacers. All of a sudden, at the end of that game, Giannis pops his Achilles or his calf. He has a calf strain. Never returned for the series. Then the Bucks lost the series because Dame was trying to carry him by himself. But aside from that, they looked like they were going to win that series with Giannis there. When he gets hurt, that changed everything. So I think they can wholeheartedly, I think they can beat the Pacers 100%. And if they play them, I think they will. I really do. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, let's see. So those are my thoughts on the standings, guys. I think let's go to the schedule. We'll go to the schedule like we always do, and then we will call it a night because there's 3 games left this season, right? 3 games left on the season, and we have the Knicks coming up, and then we got the Bucks. Guys, just 3 games left. This season has really blown right by me, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how quickly this year has gone by. All right, let's check it out real quick. All right, so we have coming up on Thursday, we have the Knicks. We got the Bucks on Friday, and we got the Bucks on Sunday. So guys, back here, we played the Raptors. We have 5 games left. I predicted the Pistons were going to go 2-3. Who remembers that, guys? Some of y'all said 5-0, some said 4-1. I said 2-3. I said 2-3 because not that I didn't think we could win those games. I just didn't think we would want to because of the reasons we just talked about, right? And as of right now, they're 0-2. They're 0-2. They lost to the Grizzlies. They lost to the Kings. So they have to go 2-1 just to get to 2-3. But now you see why I was saying 2-3 because look who we're playing in those last 3 games. The Knicks, the Bucks, and the Bucks. So as of right now, the Bucks, I believe, are up 1.5 games on us. What it comes down to is this, guys. What it comes down to is this. If we split these last 2 games with the Bucks, we are going to be 6 for sure. Even if we win the last 2 games against the Bucks, we still might be at 6 because the Bucks might win out. If we tie record-wise with the Bucks, they have the tiebreaker. So they would still be at 6 or be at 5 and we still be at 6. So it's too many things to me pointing to the Knicks for the Pistons right now. It's too many things pointing to the Knicks. It's too many storylines. It's too many reasons to want to play them. And it's too many reasons that the Bucks want the Pacers. We're trying to do this in the standings. They're trying to do this in the standings, the Bucks. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The last 3 games are going to be hard. So we'll see. Chess Ready says Knicks game going to be good. Stewart going to punt Cat. Hey, listen, man, as long as he doesn't do anything to hurt the team, as long as he doesn't allow himself to get baited into anything, right? I think he'll keep it in check. I really do think Stu will keep it in check. I think Stu because Stu is a team guy. He doesn't want to hurt his teammates. He doesn't want to hurt this team. This team means a lot to him. You can tell, right? So if he gets one, I think he may just get one. I think he's really going to put himself in check. If he does, snap back and just play basketball, right? Because he understands how important he is to this team. He saw how we looked when he wasn't available. After that game versus T-Wolves, right? The next 2 games after that, we saw the lack of resistance at the rim when he was not there. We saw how easily teams were scoring when he was not there. So if we saw it, you know he saw it, right? So he knows how important he is to this team. So we'll see. We'll see. We got to brainwash Stu to not go ballistic and play. Yeah, Winter Soldier wise, right? Like Winter Soldier style. For my Marvel fans. I love Marvel, by the way. I'm a big MCU guy. So if you guys are too, drop some fire emojis. But we're going to end it there, guys. This has been a great show as always, guys. I will be back. We will all be back hopefully Thursday night. When the Pistons play the Knicks. That's Thursday at 7 o'clock. And I'll be back here as always at 10 o'clock, 9:45-ish. I'll make sure I put it up ahead of time. And we will talk about that game. We'll see how it goes, and we will go from there. After that game, it should be a lot clearer as to where the Pistons will sit. I pretty much have an idea of where they're going to sit. I think we all do at this point. But we'll see. After that next game, it should be very, very telling. And there may be a point where even after that next game, it might not even matter what happens with the Bucks games. We may already be down 2 games at that point. If we lose the Knicks game, we're probably going to be down 2 games. And if we're down 2 games, even if we win the next 2 against the Bucks, we're tied with them, right? And they have the tiebreaker against us, right? As far as the division record, we will be if we won the last 2 against the Bucks and we tie record-wise, our conference record will be the same. And our head-to-head will be the same. Because right now we're 0-2 against the Bucks. We win these 2, now it's 2-2. So it goes to the conference record. If that's the same, fine. Move on. Let's go to the division record. So those are the things that come into play. I think the conference record, we actually are worse than them by a decent margin. So we'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong. We'll see. But we will check all that out tomorrow night. I appreciate you guys for showing up as you always do. And let me get this off of here. Once again, man, it's been a great stream with you guys. I want to just thank you guys for always showing support, showing love. And you guys can expect to see me on Thursday night at 9:45. Hope you guys have a great night. Everybody have fun. Be safe. Whatever it is you're doing, just be safe. And I'll see you guys back here Thursday night. And as always, I appreciate you hanging with your boy. And Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
Rewind 2021. There was a parade in my city. #1 pick, dancing in the street. Everybody was hitting the gritty. Kid arrived in the D, and it was live as can be. They can ball, but we didn't want Green, Mobley, or Scotty B. No, when he got hurt, everyone lost it. Storylines leaking, no faucet. Caught him washed when he broke his tibia. All the haters, time to get it really hot. Everybody wanna be Skip Bayless. Wanna throw shade, okay, say less. Dudes went #1 for a reason. It'll click by the end of the season. When he wins most improved player. Gonna be a movie, here's the trailer. Don't say I didn't try to warn ya. Co-signed by Win Benyama. He was raised a Texan, but now he's Detroit flexing. Team USA, he was killing them. Got him effed up, let me quote Eminem. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. It's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about K. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. It's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about K. Forgot about K. They forgot about K. Forgot about how you forget about K.